Live again. Okay. So don't start anything yet. Hang on. Don't open anything. Wait a minute, okay? Huh. I know you're there. And are we live or what, dude? Oh, man. Man. Damn it. All right, there it is. So now we're live there. Okay. So now, oh, and it went away. Oh, now it's back. All right. So here, I'm going to send you, copy the link. This new link I'm sending you, when you click on that, it should open your studio. And when you open your studio, if you scroll down, it'll say enter. Well, it's working for me. Yeah, because you see, look, if you look at the screen, if you would open up whoa, it just died. No, I can't answer that. Is that an Android or is that a Apple? Scroll up a little bit. Close that out. Close that. Close that completely. Okay, now go to the text message I just sent you. The one on the very bottom. Click that one. Request to join right there. Yep. Hang on.
That's what you said. Yep. There you go.
Hey, there you are. See?
Well, now we got it.
Yeah, now I'm waiting for it to come through live on the live feed. I can see you in the studio.
Hmm.
No, turn your volume down.
No, I'm gonna hang up. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, see? So there you are right there.
So yeah, on the bottom there was the speaker and then the video. They were red and slashed.
Yeah. The speaker is your microphone, and then the radio is actually the you have to unclick each one of those.
So
Once you
there,
unclick, yep, and then it opens your microphone and your camera.
yeah.
So see, it's not so hard.
Not
I'm waiting
now.
now. I'm waiting for
After
Danny.
after after 20 minutes of trying.
I did it on this phone
Oh,
in
I
like
don't give
the
me no
first
shit.
try.
I did it on my phone too. I'm not stupid, man.
I'm
I
not
may be
saying you're
old,
stupid.
but not decrepit.
Hey, I'm not saying you're stupid. You're putting words in my mouth. I'm just saying maybe you're a little challenged.
Oh, okay. All right. All right.
I'm waiting for Danny, man. I don't know what's up with Danny. Danny, because we're trying to see if we can get enough of because when we do the remotes like this, we want to try to get four. Most of the time it'll be three, but we're gonna try to get four people. So I don't know why Danny's not answering my text.
He's probably a customer, you think?
Nah, man, that guy, you kidding me? He's probably at home with his dog.
Mm.
When I talked to him earlier, he was sitting there, he's just sitting out in his back patio, just kicking back with the dog. I was like, dude, what are you doing? He's like, I'm just hanging out. I'm like, really? Must be nice to have that kind of life.
He does. He has an easy life.
Oh, and then his wife's gone for like a month. Wow.
He has a maid.
Man, you were all when you did that video earlier on YouTube. I was like, oh crap, look at you. You were all done up this morning.
Yeah, it was, man.
Shit. I mean, you even had the red power tie on.
I did. That's the whole idea. Red power tie, brother.
Hey, I sent you that link to see if you can join in. Yeah, so you have Rumble Studio downloaded already, right? Danny. Oh, you're downloading it right now? Okay. He's downloading the Rumble Studio for the phone right now. That's why.
That takes a few seconds. Tell him.
Well, it depends on where he is. If he has shitty connection, well, you know how that goes.
Mhm.
Oh man, this has been a journey, man. I'm serious. Trying to get just to this point.
No kidding, man.
I swear to God, all the equipment, all the antiquated equipment. Whenever everything I had when I used to do all the podcasts and everything like that, all the cameras I have and a lot of like my mixers, they're all out of date. You look at the equipment out now, and it's so easy. Like me and Danny were looking at some of the newer of cameras systems that we're looking at, and it's like everything's wireless controlled. You can control the live streams. You can control of the cameras from the damn tablet. The software's free. I mean, there's so much of this technology has gone so far now to be able to do live stream, to be able to do podcasts, to be able to go out and do this stuff. It's like I spent so much money and did it for a good amount of time before they blackballed me and banned me. But now all my equipment, I mean, even like my old cameras, me and Danny he was telling me, well, let's use your old equipment. But it's like looking at my cameras, I have to buy adapters for each one of those to be able to go in to be used on the laptop, which still has to go through the software for the production to choose camera angles and everything. And each one of those little adapters is a freaking $100. It's like there's a lot of money, but it's like if you look at the new modern equipment, what you're getting for what you're paying for is so much simpler. Like the new cameras we're looking at. I'll send you the link so you can see them later. But they're wireless. Like I said, he's going to be able to, as we're producing, like when we go do our stuff out at the lounges, restaurants, wherever we're going to do,
Mhm.
he's going to be able to have the tablet open and he's going to be able to choose. If we're doing it live, he can choose the different cameras on the fly, live, right there. You're talking, boom, that camera. He's talking that camera. And at the same time, still be able to run the audio mixer. It's amazing how far technology has come with it.
Mm.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
Are we gonna need tripods? Are we gonna need
I've
little
got like most of that
one of
equipment
those
I have.
microphones that we can talk to?
I mean, I've got like, I've got the DJI stuff. I've got the DJI. I've got my old Rode microphones. Those were still good, so we can utilize that stuff. So I mean, just waiting on Danny. I haven't heard from him. I don't even know if he's still on the phone or not. You're trying to find a what? Don't you? Why is your name is Danny B taken? Danny B's always taken.
Yeah, mine was taken too.
Oh, I know it's not your real name, but you're not going to want to reuse your real name now, are you?
I did. I'm using the real name. The fuck.
Hey, man, hey, well, I got you. Yeah, I hear you. Well, DB is kind of a historically DB Cooper, DB, DB is a very popular name. In the Western culture, DB is a very common, popular acronym. Yeah. Hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about this Colorado incident?
Who, me?
Yeah.
That's crazy. The guy was pissed, man. A lot of people are upset with the way they're treating the Palestinians.
Yeah, and now you have your perspective. You are Palestinian, but little background. You grew up predominantly in Latino communities of international Puerto Rico, Colombia, Miami, all these places. So that's why I say you have a unique perspective.
We're starting to get heavy duty shit, man.
This guy.
Let's talk about Waymos and see how they're taking the normal driver out of the system.
I kind of we're already live. We're waiting to see if you can join.
We're testing this. No, we got no. The trio needs to be on.
Yeah. Oh, and it's I'm sorry. So it's actually here. It's
The Danny Bun.
we're just testing right now, so we're not going to get serious about it. I got to finish putting as you could tell, I need to finish putting up my sound deadening material and everything on the walls. I've got to set up the other light. I only have one light. My lighting's horrible right now. I mean, you can see what
My
I'm like.
light is horrible
Light over
too.
here, no light right here. So I've only got one light set up. Oh, not the Rumba, the Tumbleweed X. Tumble.
Hey, you guys want to smoke some weed? Is that what it is? Like Cheech and Chong?
Hold on, you're interfering. I couldn't hear him. What'd you say? What'd you say, Danny?
What about Riddick? What's Riddick? What about
Reddit is a. It's more. Reddit is more of like. It's like a. It's more of a forum. Like remember the old school forums? Reddit is more of like the modern day version of a forum, but it has more capabilities. Whereas the forums in the past, it was about you interacting with a bunch of people on a page, and you could post up pictures or you could post up short videos or links and stuff like that. Reddit, you can actually. I told you. Hey, you need to go download Rumble Studios. That's what you need to download. Yeah, we're live. Me and Jamil are live right now. We're right here. We're testing it out. We're actually
we're
we're
just
waiting for
waiting
you
for
to
you.
join to make sure that we can get at least 3 people all at the same time.
And also remember, we want to talk about that YouTube channel you have. They're
Yeah,
getting thousands of people clicking on.
did you find Rumble Studio? Yeah, you have to download that and log into that. It's going to ask you to verify your email and all that stuff first. And then once you get download it and everything, close it out. Once you verify it, close it, reopen it, and then I'm going to send you a link that you'll click on. Don't reopen it, actually. Close it. I'll send you the link, and then click the link, and then it'll reopen it, and then you can click enter, and it'll bring you. It should theoretically bring you in. Now, if you're Jamil, it's going to take you like 5,000 tries. You know, he's having that senior moment.
Oh fuck! Oh Lord, have mercy.
Hey, I just calling it what I saw, man. I'm just calling it what I saw.
Yeah, well,
No, but I mean, going back to it real quick, I mean, we can talk about what's going on nationwide because it's not just in the Phoenix metro area. You're seeing, remember, they're going live this year in San Diego with Waymo. They're already in LA. They're already in the Bay Area. They're in Austin, Texas now. They're in Atlanta, Georgia. So they're going everywhere with this way, and that's just Waymo. You got to remember, there's other companies that are involved with this too. So Uber themselves has contracts with a couple of autonomous drive companies, not just Waymo. And now with that announcement last month that Lyft has done, they're going to be going and pushing the autonomous drive vehicles out to these different communities. And the thing is a lot of these communities don't know the dangers. And what I mean by they don't know or they don't understand the dangers is we see it in the communities where these autonomous drive vehicles already are. I mean, you've had the incidents in San Francisco where they had that one hit the lady and drag her over 100 feet under the back wheels of it. You had the incidents I mean, there's numerous videos all over YouTube, some on Rumble as well as other different platforms like TikTok and Instagram that show them where they're actually Waymo hitting, collision, cars, telephone poles, you name it. The ones that go the wrong way right in front of the police. Remember that one?
yeah.
Where it went the wrong way, right in front of the police cars and got pulled over. And the passenger couldn't get out. Or that one news anchor who was being picked up and needed to go like 1 mile to the airport, but the damn car kept going in circles in the parking lot. I mean, let's give them credit where credit's due. They're doing great because the
Because
technology
they
is
got
not
money.
perfected. The
They got
technology is not perfected. But now, between you and me and everybody else that even gives a damn, is the technology ever going to be perfected? It'll never fully replace human beings, period. I know we're worried about the AI in general and everything that's going on. And trust me, I'm the first to say I am not a fan because a lot of what AI is going to be doing is going to be taking over the easy jobs, the
Well, I'm going to
accounting.
tell you this. This is a factual thing that we have going on right now. There were 75 Waymos at the Phoenix airport. 75, of which one third of them had California license plates. Now, giving all of that into consideration, they're not those California license plates. They never paid taxes for the registration of that car in Arizona.
Now,
Second of all,
okay, I'm going to let
second
you finish that.
okay, second of all, those 75 cars that are out there are taking currently 75 personal drivers off the system and off the grid itself. That's just 75.
That's just
Only
one
in
time
one
ride. That's just one time rides.
one time ride. Now, you know that they're going to be at the airport. They got 75 of them. They're at the airport and they should be taking 2 to 3 or maybe 4 rides an hour because of the way that they centralize it, right? Because they
Well,
can't go
they're
that
trying to,
far.
yeah, I get that.
Yeah, they
But
can't go. They go to downtown. They go to Scottsdale. They go to a few other places. So you multiply that times 4. That's how many people they're getting are basically employed, but they're unemployed.
well, now going back to something that you say to begin in the beginning, these Waymo cars that are out of state plated. So you, you're seeing a lot of them over there that are California plates. You said
Yep.
so. Waymo has an agreement with the state of Arizona and the individual cities. Now, the individual cities. Videos in seconds. It works with your hang on. The individual cities. Danny just hung up on me. The individual cities have to permit them and license them. So each city, so in the event like Phoenix, Arizona, Scottsdale, Tempe, just that little tri area, which is like where a lot of the ride share type traffic happens. Each one of those cities had to take it, get it voted, city council, everybody, and then they permitted Waymo to utilize those city streets. You look on the other side of the valley. I mean, on the east side of the valley where you live, there's cities out there that have permitted. There's a couple that haven't, but the majority of that entire valley over there has permitted and allowed them. That's why they're over there.
Yeah,
Does
the
not
East
matter if it
Valley.
has,
You're
but
right.
it
They
doesn't
have.
matter if they have a California plate or an Arizona plate. Waymo has an agreement with the state that every car that they have active on the road, they're paying a flat tax for. Where that is not fair to the human driver, say the taxi driver, the private entity of transportation company, or the private
Livery
driver himself,
service.
or even the rideshare company. The rideshare companies pay for their rideshare. Each ride that a driver takes, they pay for. They pay a percentage of that to the city and state. The rideshare companies, same thing, pay a certain percentage. So everybody's paying. But Waymo has an agreement and they pay a flat tax, whether it's registered in the state of Arizona or not. They pay a flat tax. Yeah, flat tax. There, try to say that 3 times fast. Okay, for every one of their vehicles that they have in use on the streets that is licensed or permitted. So they don't pay anything to cities like Sun City West, Buckeye, Avondale, the cities that don't allow them. But the cities that do allow them, they're paying a flat. I am
You
not
know.
aware of the
You know.
exact
You know.
number that they pay, but I know this much. when you look at the overall amount of rides that the Waymos take in comparison to how much they're paying, it is about a third the amount that a human entity is paying.
Okay,
That
but
part I have been told.
no, well, that's a great point. It might be a third, might be who knows what it is. But here's the bottom line: a driver like you, a driver like me, like Danny or Luke or anybody else, that money that they get, it's influxed into the local economy. It comes in. We go buy burritos at the Mexican place
You had
down
to
the
go
way.
there.
We
You had
go
to
to
go there.
the Green Corner in Mesa and spend $50 to eat or whatever the case might be. We put in money into the economy after we worked, right? After we worked, we put gas. We do all of these things. And these companies like Waymo's don't do anything because they don't have a human. But what they do have is the money that they're making, they're taking it back to Valley. That's
I
what's
agree.
happening.
So you're seeing an expansion upon what we've already seen with the Uber and the Lyft company. They're essentially extracting the wealth, extracting the economic of funding that's coming in, because a lot of this funding is not the local community. I mean, a greater percentage of it in certain areas comes from outside. You're seeing people, business, coming for sales conventions, business conventions, education conventions, or weddings or vacations. That's outside money coming into a community. They're extracting a greater part of that profit to the company as a whole, the corporate entity, the company. They're extracting it from the local communities. You're right.
And they're
Now,
taking everything away. And you mind you,
but
I
it's
mean,
just a
we spend
third. You
money,
already see that with a lot of DoorDash. What's the other one? There's another one, DoorDash. I forgot the name of it. I'm not thinking of it right.
Grubhub,
Grubhub, all these gig
Postmates.
companies have become very efficient at extracting this money out of the local communities while using local labor, okay, and local, I hate to say it this way, but local technology, meaning the cars, the time, the effort, the knowledge. They're extracting that, the labor. That's why I'm going to just sum it all up as labor. They're extracting that. They're extracting the monetary from those communities as well. And they're not, this is the worst part, is they're not giving anything in exchange. Everybody, oh, but they're giving the service. They're giving it. No, they're not.
No.
Because
You
these
know
local
what? Let
services
me
are
tell
being
you
rendered
something.
by the people in the community.
The people that are using the Waymos, from every single person that I have driven and picked up at the airport, taking them to Scottsdale, taking them to Paradise Valley, whatever the case might be, wherever the Waymos go. You know what they told me that they have done? They have gotten in to a Waymo just to see the experience, because you know what? It's a new thing. It's everything is new. But what happens is that the age group that is now utilizing the Waymos are the 20s, 30s, and 40-year olds. They're introverts. Okay? These
I
are
I'm gonna have
introverts.
I'm gonna have to
These are
argue with
people.
I'm gonna have to argue with you on that one. Now I'll go with you on the millennials. I'll go with you on the millennials. I'll agree with you on the millennial argument because of the fact that they have been raised. And I think like some of the conservative podcasters like Tim Pool, Michael Malice has even talked about it. A big one was with Luke at Luke. We are change. He did a big rant on it, and they had there's studies that have been done on this that have shown you're talking all the younger, basically what, let me sum it up in just a real short substance here. 35 and under, not a lot of them drive anymore. Not a lot of them want to drive. You get to 25 and younger, none of them want to drive. Driving, it's a privilege. You always hear that, oh, driving's a privilege, getting your license. But these younger generations, they don't want to drive. Why? One, they don't want the responsibility. They've proven that time and again in everything that they do and everything that they have in life going on. They don't want responsibility, period. They just don't want to be responsible. They want to be able to punch a button and get what they want to get. Done. Okay. Two, why would they want to drive? Pick up a freaking phone, hit an app. Guess what? It picks you up and drops you off. That's why I said earlier on that on the when I commented on your guys' video that you put up over on YouTube, excuse me, about when you were talking about the Waymos, my comment was simple that they're going to fill the niche because they built that niche without wanting responsibility, without wanting the power. They don't know the freedom. Okay. And they're going to do the cheapest route. Well, it's cheaper to hail a driverless autonomous drive vehicle, just like right now you go to these autonomous restaurants that are starting to pop up. You go in. I mean, you've been to a McDonald's. Have you seen these new McDonald's? I went to a McDonald's about 3 months ago. I don't go to McDonald's, but I was there. I had to grab a cheeseburger or something. And I know it's probably still rotten in my gut right now. Well, actually, I'm sorry. They don't rot, do they? I'm just saying. But they don't even have a cashier. It's all touch screen. And then you hear a button, a noise or something, and they slide it out on a tray on a bag or something through these like shelves, and you take your food. They are eliminating completely that interaction, that social interaction with human beings. Why? Because social interaction is expensive and it takes a level of ability. They're
Well,
dumbing
let
the
me tell you
society
this.
down. They're
Let me tell
further
you this.
dumbing the society down.
All of these, all of these autonomous cars, autonomous things that we're talking about up front, it's costing a lot more than what you think it is. Three
Initially,
hundred
yes.
thousand dollars for a car to run, okay, and
Well,
to
each one
do
of
all
those.
these things that is not gonna bitch, that's not gonna say, "Oh, I'm only making $5," it's not gonna do any of that stuff. It's granted, it's less of a headache for all of these companies, but in all means, it's gonna take you 3 to 4 years before you even get anything back from
I
it.
think longer when you take a look at the amount of because you're talking about just the physical aspect. You're talking about the vehicle. You're talking about the design factor of putting on these cameras, the lidar systems. Remember, lidar was a freaking military. Lidar was developed by the military. Now it's being used in civilian application. That was a huge cost. So what's it going to cost now? We don't know. But I'm just
It's
saying,
it's
if
gonna
you
cost
look
a
at,
lot of
if you
money,
just take, you're
and
just talking about those costs. But now the engineers, the maintenance workers, okay, the people that actually have to wash, wipe, vacuum, and clean them. If you do the overall cost analysis on each one of those vehicles, let's be real. Jaguar, no Jaguar, doesn't matter. You know, that other company that they're using, Echo, whatever it's called, they're using this little cheap little Chevy somethings, those little of electric Chevy ones, the micro mini cars, whatever. They may be a little cheaper, but when you stick all that technology and then you have all the maintenance on top of it, sorry to say, but you're probably looking at $1 million a year in cost on each one of those units. And it's a company like Google, who is the parent company. They can afford to take that hit. So right now, you're right. The cost is up here. However, it's not always going to be that way. Soon enough, we're
and
going to.
that's why Uber is piggybacking on the fact that Google is stupid enough to accept these rights for
No, it's actually the
35.
contract. So if you
It's
recall,
$35 a ride, between 35 to $49.
but
That's
if
what I've
but
heard from customers.
no, you're right.
As a
But
matter of fact, Uber is, if you take an Uber, it's a lot less money to take an Uber than it is to take a Waymo. But
on the longer drives, on
on
the
the longer drive,
anything past about six, I think we figured the way we were doing the numbers, about 6 miles is where it breaks even, and then anything beyond that, you'd have been cheaper getting a human driver. The thing I was going to tell you is Uber, they're piggybacking with Waymo, they're piggybacking with these other companies, but the exclusive is it's not so much an exclusive, but the contract they have with Waymo, because if you recall the incident that Uber had in Mesa, where they had that incident where when Uber was doing all their testing on their autonomous drive vehicles,
That was
and they
that
had
in
that incident where
Tempe.
they hit
That
and
was in
killed.
Tempe.
Oh, it's a tip. But remember, they
It
hit and
killed a
killed
girl
a guy caught a girl,
on
a
a
guy
bicycle.
crossing the street.
Hmm.
Uber sold everything, all the software, the data, the physical technology, everything that they had accumulated to that point. They wanted out to avoid a major possible $1 billion lawsuit.
It
Well, guess
was a
who they
billion
sold
dollar
that to?
lawsuit. It
But,
is $1 billion lawsuit,
but guess
and
who they
it's
sold it to?
that's why they sold the Volvos. They were all Volvos that they were driving.
But they sold it to Waymo. They sold it to Google. That's why they have that ability to negotiate and get their way slightly with Google. And Google's kind of embedded into them a little bit, or indebted and embedded. So I mean, how long before? I mean, right now you go into the grocery stores, right, and they've got this army of people that are pulling the orders when you order your groceries online, right? They're still being delivered. They're being pulled by humans. They're being staged, and you either pull up and they put your bags in the trunk and you drive off, or they're being picked up and delivered. How long until we see the technology that's going to streamline that with an artificial intelligence? Because if you've seen the videos that Elon has been posting with their robot, he just posted a new video on X yesterday showing their robot independently, wire free, dancing, like free dancing, hopping on one leg, down to bouncing back and forth. It, we're not far from that. Now what?
They got females that a man could buy, and if you
Yeah, I
tell
knew
them,
you were going to go there. I knew you were going to go there. I knew you
that's
were going
right.
to go
I'm telling you, they can go and you tell her, "Hey, clean the dishes," and she's gonna say, "Okay."
thank you for staying somewhat nice on that.
I know what you were thinking, but no.
I mean, well, that's what they did. I mean, I saw that yesterday. Or not yesterday, last week. Like going back to Luke Rukowski again over at We Are Change. He went to that event 2 weeks ago, and he was filming live and doing interviews there, and they had one of those companion
That's
robots
what it
on
is. Yeah.
display and interacting, and I was just like, "What the hell?"
Well, not only that, but now Leon Musk is coming out with that number two, Model 2, and it's going to be a little bit smaller. It's going to be very affordable for the younger generation to
Yeah.
buy.
Well, and
And
you know what? And you
they
know
said,
it's funny when he
and
was talking about
they
that.
said that that car will pay for itself because anytime you're parked, that car is going to pick up another person.
So you're talking about the Tesla robo taxi. So the
Well,
Tesla robo
that
taxi.
and that's it. Well, it's not. It is, but it isn't. What I saw in this article was this car, while it's sitting down, will pay the monthly payment for itself, whether it's a robo taxi through Tesla or whatever the case might be. Now, Uber, Lyft will not have anything to do with it because they're going to take all their business away. Uh, They're going to
Well,
go
they
after Uber and
Elon
Lyft.
actually Elon was trying to talk. This was about 6 months ago, or so. I remember they were talking about it. It was prior to the Trump of getting into office. Uh, David Krishashawi, they that's his name, the CEO at Uber. He was reaching out, trying
He's
to
a
have a
dick.
meeting. Huh?
He's a dick.
Tell us how you really feel. No, I agree. But he was trying to get a sit down. He wanted to have a face to face meeting, and that was one of the things that he was trying to talk to Elon about was to bring the Tesla robo taxis and those buses. They're going to be now. Remember, the one thing unique about those is he wants to lease those to a leaser, a corporate lease program to transportation companies, not Uber, not Lyft. You own your own transportation company, which I know you do. That's one of the companies you own. You own your own transportation company. You are eligible with your C Corp LLC. You can lock in and lease multiple units from Tesla. Okay. And you can operate those.
And
So
who's gonna provide the service? Who's gonna come in? It's
they
gonna be
already
Uber.
know it.
You know it's gonna be Uber
No, 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 no. Tesla's gonna
monopolizing.
know. Tesla's already. Musk has already said he's gonna. They're gonna operate their own independent platform away from Uber and Lyft. They're not partnering with either one of those two
So it's
guys.
going to be a Tesla robo taxi that's going to be implemented. So you, instead of having Waymo, instead of having Lyft and Uber at the airport, you're going to have Tesla robo taxis.
One
Now
second.
you're going to
One
have
second.
you're
Go
going
ahead.
to
I'm
have
listening.
now you're going to have four majors because Waymo now, if you see what Waymo has done, they have a sign in the airport that says Uber, Lyft, and Waymo. Anybody else that comes afterwards, they're not going to even advertise it because the city government, like Gallego, what's her name? The the um the um the mayor Gallego, the lady Gallego.
I know
By
what you're
the
talking
way,
about.
yeah, she banked on it and is loaning money to Wamos and forcing free, giving them free advertising in the city of Phoenix.
Yeah, Mayor. You talking about Mayor Gallego?
Mayor Gallego. And yet, what she's doing is killing the average Joe.
Well, yeah, no, definitely she is. And but it's not just you're focused in on the industry of which you're invested in, and I get that. But I'm looking at it as a whole, the industry as whole, meaning AI, artificial intelligence, and how it's taking over as a whole. So we could sit here and we could talk about corporate and political corruption if you want to go down that road, and I got no problem with that either. But
It's very corrupted,
oh yeah,
especially
very
the
much so, very
city of
much so.
Phoenix. The city of Phoenix, and if Gallego wants to ever come in and talk to us, I'm willing to have a discussion with her. She's got an open invitation to come and talk to us. Because I'll tell you one thing, it, what she doesn't know is that we know the truth. How much money has she given to Waymo to operate in the city of Phoenix? And yet, how much money is she getting back as a kickback for her to have a house in Prescott, for her to have a house down in Arcadia, for her to have several houses and investment homes out in Prescott? Are you kidding me? This is a mayor of Phoenix that has that kind of power and makes that kind of money. The average person doesn't have multiple houses. The average person doesn't live in a
I wouldn't
gated
necessarily say
community
that because if you look,
in Arcadia.
hey, I'm just saying, look, a certain attorney general in New York State is actually under investigation right now for the purchase of multiple houses, some in state, some out of state. And, and this is the same attorney general who is brought up trumped up charges on Mr. Trump. So it's not uncommon to hear about, what you're describing right there. It's a pretty common thing nowadays. And I'm not saying that's a good thing. Unfortunately, it's not a good thing. Fortunately, at least it's being brought to the forefront and we're starting to see movement on that level. Now, where it goes, how it goes, well, the midterms are going to be pivotal. That's something we ought to worry about and get out there too, especially you. You have a huge voice in the valley when it comes to gig workers, the rideshare industry, professional ride service industry. A lot of people know you in the furniture and mattress and bedrooms. You're known. And that's why I love having your perspective on things, not just because of your ethnic background and your upbringing, but because you are a very diverse person about it. But that's where you could come into play. We need to remind people the midterms are coming, and we have a horrible, horrible record of what we do in the midterms. And what I mean by we is, I mean, not necessarily people who are conservative or people who are independent or libertarian. But I'm talking about middle class, people who punch a clock, people who work for a living, that own their own businesses, are out here grinding every day. They'll show up to vote for the president, but then we lose everything they gained because they don't go out and they don't vote in the midterms. That has allowed corruption with everything that's going on right now at the federal level. Let's not forget what's going. We need to keep an eye on the local levels, the city, county, and state. Elect the right people. Make sure those people are representing you to avoid the corruption, to avoid the cheats, the crooks, the lifetime politicians. Because if they can get their roots in, they're hard as hell to get out, man.
Oh yeah, you can
I
never.
mean, I mean, I didn't mean to go off on a tangent away from that, but I'm just
You,
saying, you got to remember all this that you're talking about. You're right. It takes an individual person that's allowing this, that's in position to allow this power to be given to these corporate entities and these boards of trustees and these boards at executive levels. But if they weren't allowed to climb the ranks politically to where they are now, it'd be different.
yeah, I'll tell you, the rideshare industry is corrupted, very much corrupted. From city officials to corporate CEOs, they're all corrupted, and yet they hide everything. They hide every single thing that they have going on, especially when it comes down to lawsuits. What do? They'll say, you know what? Um, let me give you $500,000 and you just go away, sign this paper, and say that you can never come back and sue us for this or even bring up any of these subjects. They don't own me. They don't own Manny. They don't own Danny. They don't own Luke. And more people are getting involved now. And now they're all talking about the same thing. And once you get 1 million people, they're not going to be able to buy them out.
No, you're absolutely right. But it takes getting the awareness out there, making people open their eyes to something more than just the main elections. Everybody shows up. Like I said,
You
president.
know,
Oh, we got to vote. We got to vote.
today we posted that a video on the Wamos, right? And it went viral. It pretty quick, and a few of my friends, because I guess they know my name and I'm on their list, it pops up into their YouTube, right? I got calls saying to me, "Holy cow! I never knew that these Wamos were really taking away jobs." It didn't dawn on me, and it makes me feel kind of weird because are you serious? These Waymos have no drivers. What do you think that's happening here? They're taking the money that they're getting paid on, which, by the way, let's say a ride to the Princes is $56, $57. Guess what? They only they're just the actual bird feed payment to Uber is maybe what, 10, $12. The rest of it stays with Waymo. But the same order comes in for Uber, right? And you know what they do? They keep 65%, all right, and pay the driver 35% or even less than that.
I was gonna say I don't think that's
Okay.
correct.
But,
What was it last year's numbers when they were released out of? I think Sergio and the Ride Professor. They did some numbers on that, and they found that the average retainment by Uber was up to
And
77%,
yes,
and Lyft retained
I'm
up to
just
78%.
right. I'm just being very generous by saying 60 that they're taking 65%. You're correct.
But it's worse.
75%.
But here's the thing: as bad as you feel it is for the rideshare industry and the drivers there, it's worse. It's flat out worse for the other gig workers. The food delivery. I mean, they're
Oh my
delivering.
God! Back in the day when the pandemic was going on, and I had to close down my business for because the city mandated for me us to close because we were not an essential company, right? So they
And
forced us.
people don't have to get. People
They
don't have to have
came
beds. People
they
don't have to
came
have
to my
beds.
store and the actual a police officer said you need to be closed. I said, what do you mean? Who's going to pay for the rents? Who's going to pay? It doesn't matter. You need to be closed. There's grants out there. Apply for them. That's what they told me. Okay. So during that time, there was the food that the gig working food delivery service. That's the only way that people were getting food from businesses, right? So they used Grubhub, Postmates, Uber Eats, all of these guys, right? So at that time, you can pick up a meal from, let's say, uh, any of the stores. I just let's say it's um, uh, uh, one of the burrito places. I don't know. Just name a name, okay? Whatever it is, it would pay the driver for less than 3 miles, $15.
That was good back then, though.
Back
That was
then, it
really,
was
really. Actually,
great.
that was good.
That was good. But
That same delivery now
today,
pays the
it's
driver
two
only two
dollars.
dollars.
Two
Yep,
bucks
two
exactly.
dollars.
Two
They're
dollars.
but they're actually collecting more. The price of food. Oh, Jesus Christ. There was a video that went viral on X, on TikTok, on Instagram of this girl. She went into a Subway. She hadn't been into a Subway sandwiches in like 10 years, and it was out yesterday. She went into Subway, got herself a six-inch sandwich, chicken bacon wrap on flatbread with a soda and a bag of chips. $18. I was like, wow. I don't eat I don't eat out that much at the fast food stuff, but I'm still
Well,
like, what the hell?
at 5 years ago, you can get a Big Mac meal for $6.85 at
Five
the
dollars.
or five even $5.
Out here, it was
Okay,
like $5.
okay. Well, out here in Mesa, it was like six eighty
Okay,
five.
but I'm just saying in Arizona, in California it was about $6. Nevada was about $5. Here's $5. If I remember right, it was right around $6 in Texas. But
So,
like all the
so
same,
I went to visit my family. I drove to California. I stopped at a actually it was in Palm Springs. Okay, I stopped at Palm Springs to get a hamburger, no Big Mac, fries, and a soda. And you know how much they charged me at that time? And in my honest to God's truth, I went in and I said, oh, hold on a second. You guys overcharged me for a Big Mac, large fries, and a large drink combo. Okay, I said you guys overcharged me. He goes, no, sir, that's the right amount. I says I didn't order two of them. I only ordered one. It was $15.95 at the time because I was so used to paying $6, $7 or whatever. I just figured that hey, it was going to be $8 at the most
yeah,
here
no,
in
it's
California.
the,
Eight
the the
bucks.
cost everybody talks about it. You hear them always talk about it in the matter of inflation, but the cost of food, it's not just a grocery store, it's the restaurants, the hell. I remember I remember school days, going out to the nightclubs, and after that, you had they called them the ghetto dogs. You know, the hot dogs being out, or you had the tacos, and you get the tacos were $1 a taco. You get the ghetto dogs for like $3, $4 with a soda, whatever. That same thing now, man. I can't find a taco spot anywhere in any state, Texas, here, I can't find a taco spot or even one of the trailers or the trucks for less than 350 a taco. That's the cheapest one I found was 350 taco. And it was like, honest to God, it was like cardboard. It was ridiculous. It was, it was
Listen,
gross.
I used to go before the pandemic. And this is not advertising, but it's a fact. Backyard tacos here in the Mesa area, okay, in Gilbert and a few other places. Backyard tacos. You can get on Taco Tuesday 75 cents tacos on Taco Tuesdays. I would
I
get a
remember that.
dozen.
Actually, no,
I would get
that's not just there. They used to do that out in like in the Bay Area and in Southern California. Vegas had like an entire row of like the little like vendors, and they used to do that too. $75 tacos, or I mean 75
75 cents.
cent, yeah,
And,
75-cent tacos.
and you know
That was
what they
freaking
were?
awesome.
The last time I went to the backyard tacos, as it was Taco Tuesday, by the way. I go in there and they're telling me it's 3.75 for each little taco. I said, "Oh my God, what is this world turning out to be?"
Yeah, it's bad now. It's bad. It is, but that's the price we pay for quote unquote inflation. And
Yeah,
it seems the past 4 years, I mean, granted, I understand completely COVID, and I don't even want to talk about it because everything about that just brings a lot of it, just splinters off like a freaking thorn bush. Every part of it is painful too because it was the largest extraction of wealth and accumulation of wealth by the rich and powerful. They shut down every mom and pop shop like your business. But yet, Walmart, Target, the major grocery stores, everybody else is wide open. You can't get a tire at some of the local corner stores. Like the guys that open their own tire and sell used to, you couldn't find those guys weren't open. You had to go to a Firestone or a Goodyear or one of these big vendors. It was like it was the biggest, largest focus of extraction, and it has been the biggest, largest focus of extraction to the boards, the executive boards, the payout for the shareholders. And look, I'm not going to say that I have a portfolio and I'm very diverse to it and everything, and I get dividends and everything. But I get it. But what they did to the little person and what continues to happen right now to the little person, and more importantly to the families, it's horrible what they're doing to the families. And if you look at what's happening politically right now, they're attacking the family. They're attacking the community at its most robust position, the family unit. It almost feels like they want to do away with the family. They want you not to have children. They want you to pay taxes, pay fines, pay fees, do as they say. Don't earn anything. You will own nothing and be happy. That's their ultimate goal, it seems like. You will own nothing, but you will be happy because we're going to take care of you. It's
yeah,
pathetic.
yeah. No, I agree with you.
So,
It's
and it,
it,
and,
it,
and it's touched every part of society. Every
it
part.
has, and let me tell you, people don't understand how much it hit this small business guy. It hit heavily.
and
You
they
know,
and they thought that by getting rid of or doing what they did, they would get rid of you, the small business owners. They felt like they would squeeze us out and have a certain percentage of the medium-sized businesses, but it would all be major corporations, and we would be fine with it. What they failed to understand is the economy does not base itself on the large corporations because the large corporations they write everything off. They don't pay shit. They
nothing,
don't pay any taxes. It's the
nothing.
small businesses that hold this freaking economy up. And that's the ones that were getting screwed. So they were sitting there like idiots going, oh, but the numbers, but the paperwork. It shows you how stupid they are. And that the most weakest individuals that we have in our society, those who cannot do, teach, and go into politics because they don't
Fact,
have an understanding.
Well,
They can't go out there and earn a real living.
and if it wasn't for the small business guy and the small entrepreneurs that are out there, the economy would have never gone to this point, because the history shows that in the early 1900s, when we had the depression, when we had any of these things, guess what? When the depression was on, people went to the local grocer, okay, the corner marketplaces, and as they evolved, they became bigger grocers, and they ate up the smaller guys, and that's what's happening right
But
now.
they sourced everything local.
They did.
And what we're seeing now is a resurgence with the Trump administration trying to bring back manufacturing at the big corporate level. Doesn't matter, but he's trying to bring it back, because when you do bring those bigger businesses back, as you build these manufacturing facilities and these major warehouses and logistic hubs, guess what? You bring in small business, because those people that work there, they need to go have their clothes laundered. They need to go buy lunch, breakfast, coffee. They need to have their cars repaired. They need to have, so when they're going to work, what are they doing? They're feeding that money into the local community through the small businesses.
That's
It
what
is
I
the
was.
yep,
That's what I was talking about. Us being the drivers and
of the
Waymo taken
economy.
away from us.
Yeah, and they are. You're right. They are. They're extracting the money from the local communities, taking it back to Silicon Valley or other regional metro areas, and not giving anything to those communities in return. They're not.
That-
They're not paying anything towards the infrastructure, road repair, or the betterment of the community, building parks, recreations, or they're not. They're taking it all and they're giving it to the shareholders. Once again, I full disclosure, I own a portfolio, I get dividends, but I'm still not happy about it, because
No,
it's to the level that they do it is man, it's just all those movies and cartoons we saw when we were kids, and you saw how the evil corporate CEO or president. It's just every time I talk about that, that's the first thing that comes in my head is that guy with the top hat and
or the
the
wolf,
freaking tuxedo suit.
or the wolf with big teeth and then the
Yep,
top
no,
hat.
exactly, yeah. But the wolf was always the banker.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm about to get ready to go to do a private. So it's been a nice test
Holy
that we
crap!
have here.
Yeah, it wasn't supposed to be a full blown conversation. This turned into a full blown conversation.
It did, yeah.
Man, Danny flaked on us. He never showed up.
Well, that's what he does. Come on, he wants to be in the background. He
And we'll
wants
see.
to, yeah, he's probably watching right now and laughing.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
All
All
right,
right.
Jamil. Hey, thanks for getting to try with me. Looks like we're going to be able to get this together. So we'll get some more formal stuff going on now. Now that we
Well,
got it
yeah.
working.
Hopefully we can have an agenda and we'll follow it as best as we can, and we'll
Yeah, that's
go from
difficult with
there.
us, but yeah, we'll try.
Yeah. But it'll be something good, and it'll be something that everybody will want to listen to and tune to us.
Yep. All right, man. I appreciate you taking the time.
See you
I'll
later.
talk to you later.
Bye
Okay.
bye. Bye.
Bye bye now. See everybody else later. Thank you for tuning in and watching.